It's coffee break. Okay, another week, another podcast.
Yeah.
So I got a new app game,
Yeah.
Rec, here. Was it Chainsaw Juice King?
Something like that.
Juice King Chainsaw?
It's about chainsaws and juices.
Yeah. So you have a chainsaw and you kill little fruits who actively run away from you. And then you take their cut up bodies and you make juice out of it and you sell that.
This feels like the natural evolution of Fruit Ninja. Mm-hmm. Like this, we were always destined to come back to here.
It's free to play, but there's a ton of ads.
Yeah, I bet.
My god. And these ads are worse than usual.
Yeah.
This is why the other day I was talking about making laws against ads.
I agree.
Because it's one of those things where the ad will play for a minute and a half, and then you have to interact with it, and it keeps popping the screen up to download it, and you keep saying no.
Yep, and you have to try to hit that tiny little X.
And it doesn't always work because
Nope.
it's not supposed to.
It is predatory.
It is.
And it's insane that the laws and governing officials and whatever never tried to keep up with the evolution of technology as these things became more and more common.
They
scared. Instead just bought all the companies that have the ads, and so they profit off of it.
They're also just scared of TikTok, so
Yeah. God.
I don't know what's going on there.
So dumb.
We just had a electronics technology expo.
Oh, really?
I can't remember the name of it.
Is this the one where they usually announce the new iPhones or whatever?
Yeah, it was just technology.
Okay.
And game makers were there too.
Neat.
And somebody was showing off the Switch 2 prototype, right? And everybody got to see it, and turns out that's fake.
Wow. Did that person get arrested?
No. What happened was Nintendo came forward and said, we never shared our technology with them. But they did admit that the Switch 2 is real and that they will announce it before the end of March this year.
So, everyone's just waiting. We're all sitting here with bated breath, because even before they announced this, we all knew it was happening soon, just on the horizon.
Apparently, they're very upset about that, too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, it's the era of modern technology. People are going to leak things.
Also, yes, unfortunately. If you want people to not leak things, just tell us about them as you're working on them.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
It is. What was interesting about the prototype was it looked just like the Switch.
Yeah.
And they're like, it functions more like the OLED,
Yeah.
but it has stronger processing power. All that doesn't mean anything, of course, now. Mm-hmm. And some of the other rumors about the, Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
They're going to be more ergonomic. And I'm like, that's an obvious, way to go.
What, they're not going to be the same horrible little bricks they've been?
Yeah, these tiny flat pieces. They need to fix the Joy-Con.
We were talking about this just ourselves the other day, but I really want them to start doing DS stuff on their online store thing. Mm-hmm. You can do N64 games, there's Game Boy Advance games. I want them to introduce the DS, because the DS has a lot of amazing games, but because of that, they need a second screen. And so I think a second screen might get involved somewhere.
Yeah, well, we were talking about in order to make it like a true DS game, you need that second screen, where your top screen will be your main screen, and your bottom screen will be basically your inventory.
Yeah, and you can interact with it.
Yes, and simultaneously, the two different ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it would work in the same sense that the Wii U worked.
Yeah.
Where your Switch screen would be the console, or the inventory, and then it would play on your big screen. The only problem is, right now, how we know the Switch, that whole console has to be plugged in.
Yeah, the thing is, the big selling point of the Switch was that you could switch it up, and you could take it portably.
Yep.
And what I'm picturing is, basically picture, your normal Switch when it's not docked, just how you're holding it.
Yeah.
And where the screen is, imagine you could just, flip that up. Basically exactly like a DS screen.
Yeah.
And then, that's that. And then on the backside, it would have, a fun little pattern depending on what game you're playing. Which would be cute.
Okay. I think the better way of doing that, instead of having a second screen, basically you're just building a 3DS again.
Basically.
You would want to just make the accessory like how they have the different controllers now.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to play with a Nintendo 64 controller on my Switch, I can, but I have to get that special controller, right? Do a DS one, but model it after the new 2DS.
Yeah.
So it basically is still...
Bigger. Also.
Yeah, it is still a DS, and you'll get to play it like a DS, but it would only be able to connect with your Switch.
I don't want that, just because I don't want to have to buy extra accessories on top of buying that console, you know? But this is a hard conundrum we're proposing here.
Yes. Yeah, and then, of course, we went into a weird direction there of just being like, what about DS games?
Yes.
Because it's time. I want to see GameCube games. There are GameCube games that I'm like, I want to go back and play those.
I would die.
Battalion Wars?
Smash Bros? Melee?
No.
The GameCube had a lot of really great games for how, like, not popular the console was.
Yeah.
Mario Sunshine.
You know, Mario Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh, God. I had a dream the other night that they made a new Double Dash.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a port or a remake.
It was called Mario Kart The New Double Dash.
Yeah, it probably. And it was like, it was still the 2-player mechanic, but all new worlds, way bigger story and everything.
Yep.
And I've been dying having that not exist in reality.
I don't know why they got rid of the Double Dash concept, because it was awesome and it worked well.
It'd be like if they did Smash Brothers and then they're like, we're gonna get rid of the final smashes. I was like, what?
Growing up with Double Dash, and me and my childhood best friend, we would just play it. Mm-hmm. And I would usually be Donkey Kong on the back. And the reason why is I kind of figured out how to throw shells right. Because he learned how to drive well. And I knew how to just line them up and hit them. Mm-hmm. And it was just a great combo. But then there were moments where we had to switch and stuff. And it became more fun that way. And we got to just go on this adventure together.
Mine was similar, only I was Waluigi.
Yep.
Big lanky boy punching people.
Yeah, that's why I was Donkey Kong, so I could punch you. Which was such a cool thing. If your opponent got too close, you could just hit them to back them off.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see Double Dash come back and watch everyone go, this is the better game than Mario Kart 8.
And then they'll sit there and be like, oh, the soundtrack is amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I could just imagine everyone just being like, why don't you just make another one? And then Nintendo would be so more pissed
And then
off.
there'll be a big old resurgence of the GameCube was actually excellent kind of videos. And it's like, I've known the whole time. The whole time.
Yep. Next up, data mine leakers, I don't know what else to call them, have discovered, are you ready for this? Craziest news possible, that there will be a Pokemon Direct on Pokemon Day.
Oh my goodness.
And
golly gee willikers.
The reason why they found this was because of Pokemon Go.
Also, breaking news, water
Wet?
is wet.
Thank you, Smallville. Yeah, I was just like, that doesn't help anyone at this point.
It's
Why
like-
did you even write this article?
I guess some people might have been worried.
That they missed the one time.
Yeah, because like they had their one last year, and then there was no other Pokemon news. So maybe some people are like, "Are we even gonna get one this year?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, I wouldn't worry. Like,
We haven't seen a Nintendo Direct in a while.
no.
And I know the Pokemon things are different than the Nintendo things. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I remember Directs came out kind of frequently.
I think they were released quarterly, but sometimes they were monthly.
Yeah.
We would also just get like Iwata Asks, where he would just talk to developers and stuff. God, what a cool man. I miss him.
No, I love the Directs because it's just a great way to start your Tuesday. Sit down, have your coffee, watch the presentation. It's an hour, 2 hours long?
Phenomenal. Some of my best memories has just been us watching directs.
Yeah. And you're just like, wow, I really didn't need this game in my life.
I think
Or-
the last one was the indie direct.
Yeah.
So, and that one's like, I didn't expect much to come out of it.
Didn't they have that crazy stag game? Where you're a warrior girl with like stags and you're fighting wolves or something like that?
Yes.
Or it was a wolf with antlers?
Something? Yeah.
Yeah. It was
yeah.
a side scroller? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Weird things like that. So forget about the Resident Evil 9 rumors. We all learned, okay? I learned the most out of everyone. And from what the guy who usually leaks, Dust Golem, is saying, he's like, don't even worry about Resident Evil 9 until 2026.
Well, this guy was wrong all throughout 2024.
No, it was other people. He was quiet most of the time, I would assume. Mm-hmm. Right. And he was quiet, and now he's spoken. And what he said was even more interesting. That they are making a Resident Evil 0 remake. And there will be a live-action movie to accompany it.
A live-action movie?
Yep.
Is this going to be a follow-up from Welcome to Raccoon City? Or is this another new attempt?
So all we know is that Screen Gems still has the rights to Resident Evil, so they're going to be producing it. They made all the Alice ones and Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be a sequel to Welcome to Raccoon City called Umbrella Chronicles.
Yeah.
Which would have told the events of Resident Evil 0.
Yeah.
And then some stuff about Raccoon City.
And then things happened that didn't go through.
Yeah, well, we had the lockdown, and then we had the...
Do you hate... Our neighbor, if you hear like a weird like squealing noise, our neighbor's having like a pipe problem. Like a water problem or something?
Yeah, and it just goes off, and I don't know why it's happening.
So sorry if you hear that.
Not much I can do. This place is falling apart.
Yeah.
I would ask them to stop doing whatever they're doing.
They're probably trying to fix it, because this has been happening for a couple hours now.
Then call a plumber.
Plumber might not help.
It's their job. Okay. They were working...
Well, one time I tried calling a tow truck because someone was parked in the red lane, and the tow truck company I called... I just Googled one that was in the area, and they were like, no, we can't. It has to be one that's specifically set up with your apartment complex. And I'm like, that's asinine. What, you just do your job. You all do the same thing. What does it matter?
Yeah, so I would be excited to see Resident Evil 0 remake. I don't hate the game. I didn't play it much.
This could help fix some of the problems that you had with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Make it
perhaps. The reason why they chose 0, and this is what his explanation was, Dust Golem, is that it's the 30-year anniversary.
Okay, cool.
And I was like, wouldn't you drop 9? And he says, no, this is all to build up to 9. And that it's they want to use 0 to bring it back to the beginning.
Makes
As like
sense.
30 years, check out the beginning of the
Like,
story.
This is where it all began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Would have done the Spencer Estate.
Yeah, but they've done remakes of one so many times.
There's only 2 different remakes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Deadly Silence, which is kind of a PlayStation port with the DS. But it was exclusive to the DS. And then there's the GameCube remake.
But that's not the real beginning of the story, though. Like things happened before they got there.
Yeah, because they had to make a 0.
Yeah.
It was just during that time where they just had to make a 0.
2000s, man.
Yep. So we'll see what Resident Evil does. I don't hold much faith, other than last time this guy did speak, we did get Resident Evil 4.
Well, if it is going to be the 30-year anniversary, I hope we at least get some cool merch or something.
I think a new animated movie would be fun.
It would be.
Or a TV show. I don't know.
It would be.
Shrek 5 has been delayed till winter of 2026. I know I'm breaking everyone's hearts.
I don't think this thing's ever going to happen.
My first thought was, okay, it's so far away.
Yeah.
And you're already delaying it, which tells me you have no idea what this project really is.
I don't think... And I also think they're probably sitting there and they're seeing things like Toy Story. What are they on now? 5?
Yeah, they're also doing Toy Story 5.
That's getting announced, and the general reaction is, really?
Well, Tim Allen, yes, Buzz Lightyear, one of them. Chris Evans is really my real Buzz Lightyear.
He did do better, I'm gonna say.
Said that they have a really, really good story. That was his quote.
Wow.
I was just like, I don't know if I can trust anything you say, Tim.
Because I don't want Shrek 5.
No,
I'm not...
I don't want Toy Story 5.
Shrek's universe isn't interesting enough to warrant a 5th film. I feel like we have explored every single thing this, concept has to offer. The fairy tales, the different kinds of fairy tales.
What if they went back in time and changed everything from the first movie?
They did that.
Yeah, I know.
And I hate that movie. It's so ugly. Something about it is just nauseating to me.
I've only seen Shrek Forever once, and I was just like, this is an embarrassment.
I also hated that it was like, I've never met any other ogres before. And it's like, why? Why does it have to be a part of... Why can't you just... Like, he's already just lonely. He likes being alone. He doesn't like people. We also don't need to sew in this new weird backstory that he's never seen other ogres, and he's actually, like, comparatively very meek next to them. And I was like, what? Why? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
Okay, Shrek Forever film reviews in the works. Yeah, apparently they swapped it out for like Minions, which I was like, whatever. Also, I thought those were two different companies. I thought it was Illumination and DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more confused. Superstore, yes, that weird sitcom about working at Walmart,
Really?
is getting a remake.
What?
Yep.
It just finished. Like, it's so recent.
They're already doing The Office, called The Paper. That'll
guess.
come out this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Not in the sense that it's going to be as great as The Office or Parks and Rec, but in the sense of why.
We could do for more good sitcoms. I'd
Yeah,
say.
if they can really nail that formula that those two shows had,
Yeah.
we can do this. Superstore, yeah, it's kind of soon, but also I suspect it's for Peacock, just like The Paper.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
to draw more people into their streaming service, because there's not much going on there.
I feel like it was gonna be like a sequel, a remake. I feel
Just all we know, it's basically a reboot.
okay, sure. Why not?
Okay, and so some MCU news.
Oh yeah.
Vision Quest is still a go-go.
Which one's that one?
That's the one about Vision.
Vision Quest. Isn't that like a video game or something?
I don't know. That's what they're calling this project. They're going to bring back a villain from Iron Man,
Oh.
like the original Iron Man. He is the Middle Eastern guy who was bald. He's the one who wanted Tony to build the machine.
Why?
His name is Raza Hamidi Al-Wazar.
Okay.
When I saw him, I recognized him, but I was like, I didn't even know this character had a name.
Why do we need to bring him back? Especially for Vision's story?
Yeah, I was just like, what is Vision doing?
This is a thing, like, we don't need to bring every single, like, tutorial level boss back around for MCU.
You know what? I just thought of something. He did have a flag that had the 10 rings on it.
Okay, sure. I guess that's enough.
And somehow this 10 rings story has been just buried behind the rest of the MCU.
If they're, like, trying, but also not.
Yeah, where it shows up, you're like, why?
And it's like, half the time it's like, is this the 10 rings? Or is this just, like, a pretty loop-like pattern on the floor or whatever?
No, it's supposed to be the 10 rings. So,
Who knows, man?
we'll find out. And a new Daredevil trailer just came out. We have seen it. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
My favorite part was when he said, a lot of time has passed. And then it shows the three of them, and Foggy looks completely different.
Yeah, he's got a beard
And
now.
I'm like, yeah, a lot of time has passed, hasn't it?
It's been years. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we find out that he hasn't been Daredevil this entire time. And now he's coming back to do him.
I guess, because I could have swore he was Daredevil in Echo. And in She-Hulk.
True. And they referenced the yellow mask. Did you see it? Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like that. I like just the weird attention to details. And he had his black mask there too.
Yeah.
Frank, he came back.
Yep.
We all expected that.
It's...
And it looked like a lot of fighting and breaking people's bodies.
Yeah, I was like, not a lot of idea on the story, but I get the sense maybe there's going to be a bit of violence.
They said that they turned it up a notch. And that it was Charlie Cox and I can't remember his name, who plays Kingpin.
I can't either. And I really like him. I like his performances.
Yeah.
He's the Bug in Men in Black.
Yep.
And he does a great job.
He's Owen Grady's boss in Jurassic world.
he is like the main detective in Criminal Minds, one of them, not the original one, and not Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
The other one.
He shows up in a bunch of stuff. Anyways, these two really wanted to push that envelope, and they got Disney to do it.
Huh.
And it makes sense. Daredevil is born in violence.
Now's the time. Might as well.
March 4th is when that will drop. I'm excited.
I am too.
That is probably the biggest show on my list this year besides White Lotus.
I'm also super excited for White Lotus.
Goggins being in it.
Uh-huh.
And it's just what are they doing? They're like trying to find a hospice for their drug addiction or something.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, this lends itself right into what White Lotus is.
You know, there's going to be like 12 other layers of things that
yeah.
might or might not be important in the long run.
Yeah. Okay, season 2. I think about this. If you haven't seen season 2, Audrey Hepburn,
No. Plaza.
close. Just a few years different in age.
About 2 decades apart.
More than that.
Yeah.
Her character, she's in her hotel room, and she's staring at that mask.
Yeah.
And they tell us like a little lore about the mask. Never comes back.
No. That's the thing. Like, it's such a good show with its misdirection. Very clever. I'm so excited.
Oh, I saw the trailer for Severance season 2.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
When they're walking on the hill with the goats, I was like, I mean, it's Severance. But then when they came back to the hill, they had like other people with them that just didn't look like they were supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's what I was like, we should probably rewatch season 1. But also, I'm like, it's gonna be heavy.
I would rather just do a recap.
Yeah, hopefully more shows need to have a thing that's like previously, like recap season 1 kind of stuff.
I'm sure they will. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, you would think so, but not a lot of people do it.
Yeah, true. Daredevil Born Again, we got that. Captain America Brave New World is the shortest MCU film, clocking in at 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Wow, for all those characters that are going to be in there?
Not only that, all the damn reshoots. They've done at least 3 different reshoots on this thing.
It's going to be...
Oh, it's going to be horrible.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be catastrophe.
I'm still going to go see it.
Yes. Also, thank God, I'm going to go to the movie theater and I get to see a normal movie-length movie. I don't need, like, an intermission in the middle of the 4-hour-long epic.
Yeah, it's going to be too much. And Sam fighting the Red Hulk, it's going to be that moment of suspension of disbelief broken.
Yeah.
That's really what's going to do it.
I bet it's going to be rushed, too. I bet Red Hulk is barely in it. I'm willing to bet that what we've seen from Red
all
Hulk...
of it?
Basically, yeah.
That would be funny if they just totally messed with us like that.
They've hyped it up so much, and it's like, that's it.
Yeah. And then actor Jamon
Yeah?
Housu? Honsu?
I am uncertain.
Titus.
Yeah.
From Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
He's claiming he's struggling in LA despite having strong acting roles.
Yeah, I saw that. That bums me out, because he's super good.
He's really good. He's been in some big hits.
Like Rebel Moon.
In Rebel Moon 2. In Rebel Moon Director's Cut and Rebel Moon 2 Director's Cut. That's 4 movies of awesomeness.
And they all have different names for some reason.
And ways of counting them. Part 1, Part 2, Chapter 1, Chapter 2.
He's been in many other things as well.
Yes.
He is a very good actor.
And if you haven't seen, I did film reviews on those 2 films already.
Yeah.
In fact, they were my first ones.
Wow. That feels like forever ago.
That's how much I loved Rebel Moon.
I've talked about Rebel Moon way too much. I like, in my life, for what it is.
Yes.
For what it's worth.
I was wondering the other day, I was like, will I ever see another one?
Yeah.
Was it worth anything? It changed me. It made me start doing film reviews.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's a cool thing. I'll always love it for that.
I can give it that. It was so bad, it made me think about things more.
I remember the day after we watched it, we took a 2-mile walk to the store.
Yeah.
That's all we talked about.
It was
How bad it was.
there's so much
And then
that's wrong.
the store we went to was Walmart, and there in the electronics department was like a shrine of Rebel Moon stuff.
Untouched.
That was untouched, yeah.
Completely untouched.
Yeah. In fact, I think there's still a Nemesis action figure wandering around in the back room.
No one cared.
No. I had a chance to get you a Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think she would like this.
No.
Of all the robots from movies, you got me this one.
The only way, like, I would be, like, indifferent about any character, except for, what was his stupid name? The guy who ruined everything? The guy who made every single mistake the entire time?
Gunner?
Gunner! If you came home with a Gunner action figure, I would be livid.
I don't think they made any of them.
A generic, regular-looking man. White skin, brown hair.
It's just an action figure of Andor.
It just... It's Mandalorian.
Yeah. With the Mandalorian. So you don't have to think about Gunner at all.
Nice.
Yeah, so Jamon, yeah, he's claiming he's seriously underpaid, and I'm like, yeah, you are. You should have been paid hundreds of millions to just be in some of these films.
Yeah.
You know, and you should be getting
A lot of royalties and stuff.
royalties, yeah.
It's weird, because, like, I don't understand, like, how are they coming to these conclusions? Like, Robert Downey Jr. gets paid $700 million to be Dr. Doom or whatever. Mm-hmm. And other actors are like, yeah, I got like $1,000. And it's like, what? Where are our lines? This is another thing that I think there needs to be much more regulation on. This, and maybe controversial, sports. I don't think a little sport dude who plays a little baby sport that babies play, which is a fun game of throw the ball, catch the ball, deserves to be paid $700 million. I think. For something as frivolous and stupid as sport, I think they're overpaid. I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, on your soapbox, you must understand and realize that sports makes more money than movies.
Yeah, because they merchandise it.
It is ridiculous.
They can sell a
that's why Disney focused on this project Venue, which, by the way, the follow-up on that, they killed the entire project. Yeah. $400 million down the drain.
A classic Disney
I'm not
move.
kidding. It's gone. It's over. I can't believe they did this, but the reason why they wanted to is because sports make so much money.
The thing that annoys me is other art forms.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would classify sport as, like various sports. It is an art form. Mm-hmm. It is a thing for entertainment where you are looking at something a person is doing and being impressed at the way they are executing it.
Yes.
For fun.
Is it?
Well, it can be fun. Some people get a little crazy, but it can be fun. And I want other art forms to be half as much appreciated as that. Animation, especially movies.
Yep.
But the pay with movies is all over the place. And we have amazing actors struggling, while other actors who have done the same role for like 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I saw something about Adam Sandler, and you guys have probably seen this on YouTube, where like they go through all his movies that he's ever done and how much money he made and how much it made and whether it was a success. Mm-hmm. His first film, he made like $1,000 or something. Yeah. His next film, he made like 100,000 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then he did Billy Madison.
Yeah.
And he walked away with $1 million. And then after that, he follows it up with the one everybody likes.
Happy Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore.
Did you see they're making a second one?
Yes.
I don't. Why?
Because that's what Netflix wants.
Is that what Netflix wants, or is that what bored Adam Sandler came up with?
It's been a while since he's done a dumb comedy.
I guess so.
Hubie Halloween is it's a grace to us. It's very magical. Why'd you go quiet?
I hate it so much.
Everybody hates that movie.
I went blind with rage.
I'll have to remember that one for October. So yeah, when he does Happy Gilmore, $10 million.
Yeah, probably.
If it was that quick, where it was $1 million to $10 million. You think about it, this guy did 4 movies at this point, and he's made like 1,100,000 and something thousand.
Millions, yeah.
In just a span of 4 years.
And I think we need to have better regulations, better like even pay distribution. in general. But I don't even know where we would begin with something like that.
Yeah, to regulate actors, that would be interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, and here's the big news of the day. Bring it all the way back in. DC. Okay?
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti, I don't care if I mispronounced his name.
Okay.
The director of The Flash, and currently the director for the new Batman film for the DCU, The Brave and the Bold, claims that the Flash movie that he directed failed at the box office because no one cares about the character. I don't...
You told me this yesterday, and like my world became white noise with how angry I was.
I don't understand where he's coming from with this. I read the rest of what he had to say, and at one point he blames women.
Oh, of course.
He starts talking about quadrants, and I'm like, what the hell are quadrants? And there's 4 quadrants per each film that major studios look at. These quadrants are males under 25,
Sure.
males over 25,
Okay.
females under 25,
All right.
females over 25.
Fuck any non-binary people. I bet this guy doesn't even think they're real.
And he said that women, just both quadrants, just did not agree with it. And I was like, okay.
I'm only bet the men quadrants weren't great either because it was a shitty movie.
Yeah, it's just a bad movie with bad actors.
Yeah. No one liked
Michael Keaton.
No one liked Ezra Miller even before.
Yeah, and there's 2
production
Ezras.
Started. Yeah.
Nobody wants this freak near them.
Who was just like arrested for kidnapping or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they're in it twice as much.
Yeah, great.
And we're gonna drag back this old retired busted ass Batman because fan service.
Yeah, I have said this before. I do not like Batman 89. I think it's a piece of poop.
It's boring.
It's really boring.
It's shockingly boring for how over the top it is.
Best part is Jack Napier.
Yeah.
And he's not even really playing the Joker. He's just Jack Nicholson in makeup.
Yeah.
And it just... Michael Keaton's Batman wasn't great to begin with, and even then, he still wasn't that great.
You're like, who are you marketing this to? Nostalgic people who care about the old films? They're not going to care about Ezra Miller as Flash.
Yeah, they came for Michael Keaton, and he doesn't do anything, and he dies at the end. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, good for you.
It's also, what a pretentious asshole to sit here and be like, no, the problem, it wasn't me or any of my decisions. It was just, this character's not popular enough.
So here's the greatest counter argument to him. Mm-hmm. I know it's called the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
But there was a show in there that was more successful and beloved by fans than anyone else. I cried multiple times watching this show.
Oh, yeah.
It was called The Flash.
Oh, wow, would you look at
Whoa.
that? It's almost like he's one of the main Justice League characters.
What?
But hugely popular for decades.
He's up here on my wall. I have a poster of him. I have multiple posters of him. I have a little tiny toy on my desk of him that I found because some kid discarded him because I guess that kid agrees with Andy apparently. And my dog's name is Bartholomew Allen.
Yeah.
And I named my channel after my dog in also how much I love The Flash.
Also, even if his asinine statement was true and just no one knew or cared about The Flash, that wasn't a hindrance for the Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man or any of the other MCU films that took these characters that no one knew about or gave a shit about.
Yeah.
Don't even pretend. No one knew or cared about Iron Man before these films happened.
God,
No, if
he's
you would have
such a
asked
loser.
anybody back before that movie came out, not a single person would even know who Iron Man was.
No.
Fuck you, Andy.
Well, you want to throw Iron Man out there? Let's bring out Thor.
Yeah.
That's an insane idea to try and make a movie, yet alone squeeze 3 more sequels out of it, with a potential 5th on the way.
Were people clamoring for Vision?
No.
Now there's a whole movie for him.
It's going to be a TV show.
Well,
Yeah, it's just, what the hell are you saying? And the fact that you're still with the DC,
yeah.
I don't like that. I don't want
Concerning.
you around. I don't want to see your Batman. I'm not going to support you.
No.
I'm going to say that outright. So,
And Ezra Miller's gonna play Batman.
Don't joke about those things. Don't throw those toxic, horrific thoughts into the universe so that it would spark some sort of inspiration, okay? I can't have that in my life.
Some dimension somewhere.
There's
It's happening.
and everything's falling apart. So the question of the week. Mm-hmm. I know you guys disagree with him.
Yeah.
But, like, how do I even form that as a question?
I don't know.
Do we want him to direct the new Batman?
No.
Can this plane get any louder?
I don't even see it. How can you be so loud?
It's just so loud. And it's not just us. It's all over this damn town. Yeah, so do we want to see him direct another DC movie after blaming The Flash?
Even outside of this nasty behavior, from a directorial direction, The Flash is garbage. Remember when he had to save babies and he put one in a microwave?
Yep.
That was it's because people don't like the character. No, I think you're stupid.
So it's based on Flashpoint, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen the animated movie.
Yeah, as if they haven't done Flashpoint a million times already.
Yeah. The Arrowverse did Flashpoint, by the way. And it's just like, you had a great story and you still couldn't tell it.
Yeah, they lined up everything for you.
You had 2 Batmans. Mm-hmm. 3, my bad. There's 3 Batmans in there.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Screw you, I guess. That's great. Okay, so it's Box Office Trolls.
Box Office Trolls. Woo.
So?
There's one, I'm curious if it's even on the list. Better Man. Did that come out this week or last week?
I don't see it.
Do you know which one this one is?
No.
It's that, one British musician who, he made a biopic for himself. Like, a huge ego, I guess. But he looks like a monkey for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie.
Yeah, this is your guy.
He has one song that I've listened to.
Yeah.
And everyone in America is like, we don't know who this guy is.
No.
And all the British people are like, no, he's the best. And they're playing his quote unquote best songs, and it mid.
Well, we've learned that British people aren't always correct.
Yeah, and it's so weird because
just in the course of history of the Earth.
I was also just thinking about why would he you have to be one excruciatingly vain man to sit there and be like, yeah, I need a biopic. Because I was thinking about all the other most recent biopics, like Bob Dylan that just came out.
Yeah, apparently it's very inaccurate.
Dang, Elton John had one.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Queen.
That was a while ago.
But these are huge people.
Pharrell Williams just did a Lego one.
Yeah.
That's the one I would have used as a reference here.
Because
so it's a biopic, and he's decided to depict himself as a monkey, right?
Yeah.
And, why not? He's an artist. Let him be an artist. I don't think it's a vain thing to do this.
It's just, he's not... It's, 3 times more expensive. Them making this movie compared to the other biopics that I've mentioned. People were comparing the numbers. It was over $200 million to produce it.
Yeah.
And it's if based off of your numbers, because you as a musician should be able to see globally you're not as big over here as you are in just Britain, you would think maybe a smaller budget perhaps.
Maybe.
And unless your life is if your music career can't carry that for you, if you have a really interesting, crazy story about your life, that might be it. But I don't think it is.
We'll have to wait till it comes out. I don't think it came out this week, though.
Ah.
So, number 1, Den of Thieves 2. Again, I ask, where's Den of Thieves? I've never heard of it. How is there 2?
The ad was playing and it was Den of Thieves 2. And we were both 2. What's the first one?
What is the subtitle for it?
Yes, there's a sequel.
What's Pantera?
Oh.
It's Den of Thieves 2, Pantera.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just the name of a metal band. Where's Den of Thieves, and what does it have to do with metal?
Maybe it's a biopic.
It's gonna get dark. Number 2, Mufasa.
Wow. Good for them.
Number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Woo!
Number 4, Nosferatu.
Nice.
Number 5, Moana 2.
Wow, still in the box office, eh?
Number 6, A Complete Unknown. Bob Dylan's biopic. Number 7, Wicked.
Wow.
Number 8, Baby Girl.
Okay.
Number 9, Game Changer. It's not changing much. And 10, The Last Showgirl.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the like holiday big movies are just gonna sit there and dominate for a while. With Mufasa, Moana, Sonic, Nosferatu.
Luckily, we got Wolfman coming out this week.
Yeah. This
Which will be
Friday?
This Friday. So the next day after this podcast comes out.
That'll be exciting.
And it's directed by Lee Wanell, who is known for creating Saw.
Yeah.
And he created Insidious. I know James Wan directed these films. He created them.
He wrote them.
Yeah. No, he created them. And he's also done a lot of directing, and he directed The Invisible Man back in 2020.
Yep.
And I did a film review. If you haven't seen it, it's there. It's the shortest one I've made because I don't have too much to say beyond how the eerie silence of nothing being there is eerie.
Yes. He did a great job like breaking the rules of filmmaking to imply something is there, which is hard because when you're like, how do you film a movie when one of the main characters is invisible?
Yeah.
And I think he did a great job. Fantastic. Really good tension building.
Yeah.
Also one of
Blum.
One of Blumhouse's best movies. It does have the same old Blumhouse pitfall, which I...
And I attack it for that.
Yep.
And I say exactly how the story goes with Blumhouse, right? And how at the end you have to battle to the death and you win and everything's fine. So it doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah, there's the ending, and you're like, this is the climax, it's exciting. And then there's just a second ending.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. And yeah, Invisible Man is a unique way of telling this modern story, right? Because of what she does at the end, she becomes the Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
So you have the Invisible Man and the Invisible Woman in the same movie.
Yes. It was just smart. That's the only way it could play out, I would imagine.
Yep. And so now he's doing Wolfman, which is another classic Universal monster.
Yeah.
And James Wan is going to do Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Which is...
I'm so
too
happy.
excited.
I'm so happy. I love the classic Hollywood monsters.
Yes, and to get a horror director who has shown us plenty of times he's really good at it.
And he gets to combine the underwater nature of Aquaman and the horror nature of the horror things he's done and fuse them together.
Yes, with all the action he learned from Fast and the Furious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet that thing could go pretty fast. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. In water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to change up the relationship between Gilman and that girl.
Maybe.
Otherwise, you're going to get way too close to The Shape of Water.
Yes.
Which is
what it was, yeah.
So, Guillermo del Toro talked about this, and the reason why he made The Shape of Water is when he watched Creature of the Black Lagoon, the original, as a kid, he always felt sad because Gilman and her could never be together. So he wrote a romanticized version of it, which is The Shape of Water.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
You could take it in a different direction. Like with Invisible Man, he takes it in the direction of like an abusive relationship.
Yep.
And that's interesting. That's an interesting new direction. And I'm excited to see what direction he's going to take for Wolfman.
It looks like it's dad, a mom, and a kid stuck in a cabin. And they're trying to defend themselves against dad.
Well, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. No. So, Invisible Man. One of the scariest things, just rewatching it. It's crazy. I'll sit there and watch the movie. I'll write the review. And then as I'm editing everything together, I form new thoughts and opinions on the things that I'm reviewing.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm like, great. That'll never make it because I would have to restart all over again.
Yeah, that happens.
And it's Adrian. His name is Adrian. He's the villain. He's the Invisible Man. And he tells Cecily.
Is that her name? Cece. Is it short for Cecily?
Cecilia?
Cecilia.
Yeah, Cecilia. That he is going to constantly kill everyone around her so that she's always weak and alone. He's just sick. He's just he killed his own brother.
Yeah. He tried, he hit a kid. she's like in college. She's going to college, but still, he
Oh, yeah.
hit her.
He was trying to kill her.
Hit her hard, yeah.
He told her, I'm going to go kill that girl.
Yeah, he is. It's like a good villain.
And yeah, when he just has his hallway scene, which I show off some of it, it's just so violent.
I would love to watch. My biggest thing that annoys me with streaming is I want to watch the behind the scenes. And streaming doesn't often have the behind the scenes features.
Yeah.
I want to see how they did the choreography. Like, how many times was there a person there and they just, like, green screened them out?
Yeah.
How many times was the actor just acting against nothing? And they had to, like, CG up a couple of things to make it look convincing.
Yeah, I wonder that too. Because, like, there are moments where you see things moving. Mm-hmm. He starts touching objects and stuff. But is that CGI? Or is that, like, a practical of turn, the doorknob kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But that would be very interesting. Mm-hmm. And the other thing we watched, because we haven't had much time, is Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm. We watched the first 2 episodes of the new Goosebumps.
So, to make this more confusing than possible...
In a very Goosebumps way.
It's not Goosebumps. It's just the naming convention. This is the second season of the last Goosebumps live action television show, right?
Technically, yes.
And no, it is season 2.
Uh-huh.
But it's called Goosebumps: The Vanishing, and it's considered its own show.
Which, like...
Even though it's made by the same people, and it is considered a sequel.
Yeah.
Because it's an anthology.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I get it.
So, yeah, the first 2 episodes. I'm going to be honest. Season 1 was not that great.
No. God,
no. I was very upset that was the route they wanted to take after they just did those 2 movies. Because I really loved the first movie.
And the worst thing was, you could see the potential with season 1.
Mm-hmm. And season 2, we came in with that, like, oh man, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
This is why it took 2 years.
It didn't help that the first one, our 2 main characters enter the scene, Devin and Cece. Her first line of dialogue is like, I need more kombucha. And it's like, oh, okay, we're going to do this again.
Because she said that, it made me think of kombucha.
It's like, this is what kids sound like, I guess.
And then that goes away pretty much.
Yeah.
There is a group of kids, they don't like each other.
No, it's so much better this time around.
Yep. And Dad is a famous actor.
Yeah, David Schwimmer.
Yep. Who's dealing with a parasitic creature in his arm.
Similar, he's very much like taking the role that Justin Long had from last time, where it's the adult dealing with the monster aspect of it.
Yep.
Both of them have done great.
Yeah.
Both of them bringing their specific flair of acting styles into the roles.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about David Schwimmer doing this, but after seeing his performance and how he interacts, and he's a much older actor now, because everyone's used to seeing him as Ross.
Yeah.
He's doing great.
He is, like, he can do those, like, serious melodramatic scenes, but also still pepper in, like, his awkward, funny moments as well.
Yep.
Like when he's like, I'll save the waffles. I won't save the waffles.
It's also just a funny show. The dialogue is really great. When the brother is trying to hit on that one girl that he has a crush on, and his sister Cece is dragging one of their friends away, and he's like, no, I want to see this. Your brother has no game. It's impressive.
There was another where he was like fighting with Trey.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're just a provincial loser. Sorry. You're a small town loser.
Yeah, we're going to keep watching it. And if you were on the fence about it, so far it's been great.
The dialogue is much better. Much better. Not nearly as, like, try-hard, TikTok-y, what do kids sound like kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's easier to follow, I'm gonna say, because the first one was bouncing around between the 2 different eras a lot.
It did, yeah.
This one's also, like, tense already. There's been a couple of times where I went, at the very end, spoilers, I guess, like, when the plant thing got sucked up into the car.
Yeah.
I out loud went, that's how they're gonna do that. Because they're gonna do the car one now.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot one thing. We did finish Creature Commandos.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Creature Commandos was good. It kind of abruptly ends.
A very rushed ending.
And we see that there's going to be a new set of Creature Commandos to be unleashed season 2, with a major character being killed off at the end of season 1.
Yeah, and it was a bummer, but like that's very like in line with Suicide Squad flavored things.
Yeah. James Gunn type stuff.
Yeah, and it's always it's one of the, I was thinking about how to categorize James Gunn characters. There's 2 flavors separated into 2 sub flavors. There's you're an asshole, proud cocky asshole, or stoic quiet asshole.
Nice.
And then there's you're too nice to be here. Too nice to be here, but you're still a little fucked up. Too nice to be here. You deserve to be in a much better place, and you should not be here.
And that main character fell in that quadrant, as Andy would call them, quadrants.
It was like I was like, this is just like Polka Dot Man, you know. Too nice to be here, still a little fucked up.
Yeah, he kind of can't really be around anybody else.
Ratcatcher 2 and everything.
Yeah. What an awesome name. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would love to see how they're gonna look live action. That's been a lot of people's thoughts. I saw a 3D rendering of The Bride.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess, like, that would work.
I'm glad they didn't have their animated selves be reserved, because, like, to make it easier to translate into live action. Like, if you look at, what's the name of the guy who voices Frankenstein? Eric Frankenstein?
David Harbour?
Harbor? Yeah, like, Frankenstein does not look like David, like, at all. You know, you could see it, but Frankenstein has much more, like, squared off face and stuff. And I'm glad, like, in other things, like The Bride's a very crazy hairstyle. I'm glad they didn't limit the animation to make it easier to translate to live action. They let the animation be as wild and crazy as they wanted it to be.
Yeah, and you could still properly do those characters in live action.
You could. Yeah.
I want to see Rick's hair. That, seriously, like that silver streak of bangs that he has, I'm like, yeah, okay, I want to see that.
It's crazy how many MCU actors are bouncing over to DC now. Like Crossbones.
Yep, he is Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah.
Who else crossed over?
Um,
Sean Gunn. Him as G.I. Robot is pretty funny.
Really funny.
Are you a Nazi?
I loved G.I. Robot. I thought he was fantastic.
So that was this week. I hope you guys have fun. Don't forget the question. Invisible Man is up. Next week, I'm still fighting Disney over Alien Romulus.
Yeah, thinking it's Wild Robot.
Yeah, thinking it's Wild Robot. And they have like 18 days left with this dispute. Otherwise, I win.
Yay.
Even though I won. I win.
Because it's
not Wild
Robot.
Robot.
It's not the Wild Robot.
And I promise you, I will never do a film review of the Wild Robot.
Yeah.
No matter how good it is.
Screw you, Disney.
You made mortal enemies with me. So if that's not true, it will be Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Which is also just a fun movie to watch.
What am I doing?
Yes.
It's gonna be a design shorts compilation this week.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need to do some like script doctoring on some things.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a compilation of some of my design shorts in order. I finished up the Ruby from volumes 7 through 9. I almost forgot about summer. I got a comment today of someone being like, "You should talk about summer," and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot."
Wow, how do you do that? How do you forget?
She's at the very end.
Yeah.
And, like, you see her for one scene, and I don't care about her. She's a non-character. She's not even a MacGuffin at this point. She's just this concept that they float around, and we all act like, ooh, how interesting, even though she doesn't do anything.
Nice. Nice. Okay, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.